recreating all 25 Japanese aircraft carriers. From the rise of the Imperial Japanese Navy to the modern era, Japan has built some of the most formidable aircraft carriers in history. Today, we'll take a journey through all 25 Japanese aircraft carriers, from pioneering Hosho to the cutting edge Izumo class. Japan's carrier development began in the 1920s with Hosho, the world's first purpose-built aircraft carrier. Soon after, Kagi and Kaga converted from battle cruiser and the battleship hulls, ushered Japan into the carrier age. These ships would play crucial roles in early Pacific War operations. By the late 1930s, Japan expanded its carrier fleet with Suryo and Hiryu, designed for high speed operations, but the real power came with Shokaku and Zikaku, featuring better protection and firepower. These carriers would lead Japan's offensive in the Pacific, striking Pearl Harbor and battling at Coral Sea and Midway. As war intensified, Japan converted passenger liners into light carriers, such as Hiyu and Junyo. Desperate for more air power, they even repurposed the massive Shinano, originally planned as a super battleship, into the largest aircraft carrier of WWII. However, she never saw combat, sunk by a US submarine before her completion. Japan also relied on smaller carriers like Ryujo and Zuhyo and the escort carriers from Taiyo class, built to support fleet operations and transport aircraft. But their light defenses made them vulnerable against allied airstrikes and submarines. As Japan faced imminent defeat, carriers like Amagi and Katsuragi were built but never fully operational. Ibuki, a cruiser turned carrier, was abandoned as the war ended. The once mighty fleet had been devastated. For decades, Japan had no aircraft carriers, but today, with the Izumo class, Japan returns to the carrier aviation. These helicopters destroyers are being modified to operate F 35B stealth fighters, bringing Japan into the modern era of naval power and cutting edge technology. From the humble beginnings to a new era of carrier aviation, Japan's 25 aircraft carriers have shaped naval history. What does the future hold for Japan's naval power? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible military history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video with some next amazing content. So stay tuned as we dive in the recreating all 25 Japanese aircraft carriers. From the rise of the Imperial Japanese Navy to the modern era, Japan has built some of the most formidable aircraft carriers in history. Today, we'll talk about a journey through all 25 Japanese aircraft carriers, from the pioneering Hosho to the cutting edge Izumo class. Japan's carrier development began in the 1920s with Hosho, the world's first purpose built aircraft carrier ever. Commissioned in 1922, it was small but highly innovative, setting the stage for future designs. Soon after, Akagi and Kaga converted from battle cruiser and battleship hulls, ushered Japan into the carrier age. These ships would play crucial roles in the early Pacific War operations, with the Kagi leading the strike on Pearl Harbor. Suryo, Hiryo, and the Chicago class carriers launching aircraft. By the late 1930s, Japan expanded its aircraft carrier fleet with Suryo and Hiryo, designed for high speed operations and equipped it with cutting edge aviation facilities. These carriers were crucial in early victories across the Pacific, but met their end at the Battle of Midway. The real power, however, came with the Chukaku and Zikaku, featuring better protection, greater range, and enhanced air capability. These carriers would lead Japan's offensive in the Pacific, striking Pearl Harbor, battling at Coral Sea, and surviving until the brutal engagements of 1944. As war intensified, Japan faced an urgent need for more aircraft carriers. This led to the conversion of passenger liners into the light carriers, such as Hiyu and Jonyo, which were not as durable but provided much needed air power. One of the most ambitious projects was Shinano, originally planned as a super battleship, later converted into the largest aircraft carrier of WWII. However, Due to rushed constructions and weak anti submarine defenses, Shinano was sunk by the USS aircraft before even reaching full operational status. Japan also relied on smaller carriers like Ryujo, designed for fast strikes but lacking sufficient armor. Zuhoyo and Shoho, converted from submarine standards, were meant for fleet support but were highly vulnerable in direct combat. Meanwhile, the escort carriers of the Taiyo class were used primarily for ferrying aircraft carrier and anti submarines patrols.